So here's our thing. With our school, if you are caught with cannabis, it's a 15-week suspension in our school.
Wow.
This is a high-end culinary school. I'm in a townhouse with 7 friends. I think I'm cool because I take a small bong underneath the hood, kitchen hood, brand new townhouse. So I'm smoking my bong underneath it. It's going. The dean brings me up the next day and goes, Chef, you got 2 options here. You take it for the whole team or all 7 of you get suspended. And I looked at him and was like,
We are back with another episode of Digging Deeper with Dialed In Gummies. We are here with my good friend, Chef Dave Hadley. He's a 2-time Chop champion and a culinary force known for bold flavors, fearless creativity, and technical precision. After rising to national recognition on Food Network, Chef Dave built his reputation on blending discipline with innovation, constantly pushing the boundaries of what food can be. Today, he's making waves with his Indian-American fusion pop-up concept, reimagining the humble samosa as a vehicle for elevated flavor. His food tells a story of heritage, experimentation, and community. He's also become a trailblazer in the cannabis cuisine, helping shape Denver's infused dining movement by combining refined technique with the evolving world of cannabis. From competitive cooking stages to intimate community gatherings, Chef Dave builds connection through flavor. Today, we're digging deeper with Chef Dave. Chef, thanks for being on.
what an introduction. Whoever wrote that about me, man. Oh my gosh. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you for having me.
So, Chef, let's talk. You know, you're not from Denver, correct? So let's talk about the roots. Where is Chef Dave from? What got you to Denver? Let's start there, and then we'll get into the culinary side.
Well, what brought me to Denver, I will say, is lying to my parents about why I was coming. It was cannabis, right? Yeah. Cannabis. I grew up in New Jersey, born and raised, and came out to Denver in 2013, 2014.
Yep.
Tried it out, went to Aspen, saw it, and realized that maybe for food, I was going to be, at the time, one of the first people to do cannabis and culinary, because that was just something new. And
yeah, especially back then.
Especially back then. The med market was so different. And, we were just talking about all of our friends that were caregivers that were growing cannabis for the dispensaries at the time.
Right.
And I got to see the early days of that where I was so confused, like, how is this actually happening? How is my friend that has 12 lights in their house just giving it to dispensaries? So I got to see that early. Mm-hmm. And obviously, lying to my parents, I was like, I'm going to go to Aspen. I'm going to be a chef at the Hotel Jerome. I'm going to do my internship there. And at the same time, I was working for Silver Peak Apothecary and AMS at the time, which was back in the day, Alternative Medical Solutions. Like, oh my gosh, one of the coolest spots to be in Aspen. And yeah, that's my upbringing, really. And then brought me to Denver.
Okay.
I think that's the coolest part about this is going a small little mountain town and then doing a cool little city. That's been the journey of how I got here.
And I believe I read somewhere that cooking with grandma is what kind of inspired the culinary journey that you entered on. Let's talk about that. Like, was it helping out in the kitchen and you just loved like watching, or did she actually let you be hands-on? Like, I know some grandmas are like, you're just going to watch, I'm going to do my thing.
Luckily for me, my grandma lived with me growing up all the way until I was about 15.
That's beautiful.
She was a huge influence on me just because she was the Indian matriarch of our family, the culture that brought me into who I was. Meanwhile, when I was a young kid, I was not about trying to be proud of who I was. And I think it's taken me through food in this journey to become what I am and who I am.
Is it just tough growing up in New Jersey? Like,
not tough. Everybody is, people are from India, people are from China, people from everywhere around the cultures. It's a cultural spot. But I think for me, I had friends growing up in a neighborhood that I didn't want to be recognized as just one type of person, right? Sure. And I think I've been like diving deep into my culture at that time was scary. My parents wanted me to, learn some languages. They wanted me to obviously like the food. Yeah. We had no TV when we had dinner. We only ate as a family. There's 6 of us. So, I mean, for me growing up culturally, it wasn't the same as my friends that got to go to their friend's house to do sleepovers. It wasn't them playing paintball on the outside. Like, I had to ask my parents to do those things, partly because of where they're from. But my grandma lived with me. My amachi is what we called her.
Okay.
Amachi is the reason how I learned about Indian culinary food just growing up as a kid. She brought people in, had family dinners, had, random friends from all around the country. And oh my gosh, she passed away like 4 or 5 years ago. And that's still been a huge thing for our family because obviously her prevalence in our lives.
Of course.
But for food, this is my ode to her. Like, this has always been an ode to her as I grow up and work in Indian food and culture. Now doing these cool Indian weddings.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit.
I think that's the biggest thing is this is an ode to her being able to represent the cultures that she came from. Mm-hmm. And the best part about now in my life is I'm jumping into my other grandma and my other grandparents, which is the St. Vincentian side, West Indies, more Caribbean-esque, and finally just researching that and jumping into that world because I think that's going to shape me into who I am as a chef. Hence why I'm going to St. Lucia and St. Vincent next week.
Is that right?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I know. I'm
gotta be excited.
It's one of those journeys where I'm like, as a chef, you have to travel. You have to do things that are outside. I've lived in Thailand for 1.5 years. Like I've been to Spain, I've been India. Like luckily I've been a lot of places, Japan. And I think for me, the only way to learn something is to travel, is to really get out of your own experience.
Immerse yourself.
Get in there.
Yep.
And luckily, I'm able to take this journey where I'm scared. I'm the first one of my family that's been able to do it in this generation. No one really talks to that outside family in St. Vincent, but this is the journey to find my dad, my family from my grandma's side, like my great uncles that maybe shape the journey of where my blend of Indian and St. Vincent flavors come from and finally determine who I am.
Excellent, man. That's going to be...
I know.
And that's next week.
I know. That's
next week.
That's next Tuesday.
Wow. How long are you going for?
Undetermined.
Even better.
Undetermined.
Even better.
Undetermined.
Okay. I love that.
I'm lucky I'm going to see one of our friends from Spherex. I don't know if you know Matt Keys.
Yeah.
He's a really close friend of mine. He's also someone that helped me start in the cannabis industry back at Craft Days, where a lot of us were just small group of friends that then split into bigger companies. Mm-hmm. For me, I get to see them because they'll be there for a friend's event, but I get to take my own journey to go to St. Vincent and really dive deep into the food and hopefully come back with cool ideas to see what's next.
I love that. You had mentioned being in Thailand. I think I read, and I'm probably going to butcher this name, so I apologize, but you worked at it was a 2-star Michelin restaurant called Gagan. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Or is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah? So let's talk about that, because, not a lot of people get to go and work at that level of a restaurant, especially abroad. So I'm sure you learned a ton there, and whether it was good or bad.
No, that was one of the best periods of my life. 2017, I won Chopped, and that was a huge part of my life. Because my parents then asked me, what are you going to do with the money? It's not that much money, right? It's a good amount.
It's a nice little chunk.
It's a nice little chunk, but it's to do something with it. And I think my parents forced that on me, saying, don't just spend it on something that you're not going to you're going to throw away. Mm-hmm. And this experience for me is there's a show on TV on Netflix called Chef's Table.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there on Netflix and I start crying watching this episode. And I'm not understanding why I'm crying about watching this episode, but it's a chef. He's from Thailand. He's an Indian guy, big, goofy looking guy like me. And I honestly, I look at him, I'm like, wait, that's like me. He says that his restaurant is the world of nations, like the world nations, United Nations, because everybody in the world comes there, from Poland, Spain, Italy. I've worked with people that are from Malaysia, Indonesia, India, all at the same restaurant. And I think that's helped develop the way that I communicate with people also.
Yeah.
And then also, me being the only American Indian kid going in there at the time was huge. They don't invite everybody to that spot.
I would imagine.
So being an American Indian kid who was just on his journey at that time, 2017, trying to develop what he was, going to this high-end restaurant, which was #1 in the world for the last 3 years in Asia, and then #5 in the world. So they have a
Wow.
They have a ranking.
Wow.
Like world's 50 best. And then like they end up becoming #5, but #1 in Asia. So you're at a high level, cooking for Vladimir Putin at the time and his group. It's silent, it's cool stuff that I got to do.
Wow.
And I think that shaped a lot of the mentality that I have on the seriousness I take in food, but also how I approach things and live some life. Because no one gets to do those things, and I got to experience that. So but it's some of the best experience that teach you and develop you some skills and technical things that help me now just be able to have that in my back pocket.
100%.
You know?
100%.
I make burgers, man. Like I cook burgers and fries and samosas, you know, like it's turned into that. And I think Gagan, he taught me something. He told me something that very serious that I still have it like to this day. He says, Dave, you don't cook Indian food. It's okay that you don't cook Indian food. You need to cook Indian American food. That's what you do. That's who you are. And that, you know, was hard for me to hear from him as an Indian chef, the guy who's world's 50 best. But that's okay, because that coming from him was a huge jump for me to say, okay, there is a development of this. There can be something for that. And hence Samosa Shop. And
let's talk about the Samosa Shop. You know? So like, where did it come from? Like, when did you, like, light bulb moment, I'm going to go out, start my own venture and create this concept called the Samosa Shop. And it started at the farmers markets, right? Like, you were doing pop-ups at events, and
it actually started COVID. Okay, so
okay.
COVID was the start of Samosa Shop. I'm going to tell you right now real quick. There's a guy who was giving out kimchi to people's houses on Instagram. And I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, who is this guy? He's not even a chef. Like, how did he get so popular? How is he getting so much likes? This is COVID time. So everybody's stuck at their house. Yep. Everyone's stuck on social media. Huge popping off of what was going on.
Absolutely.
Obviously, it was cool for the industry too, because people were staying at home looking for cannabis, trying to enjoy themselves.
There's a little extra money to be spent on some cannabis too.
AKA everybody was sitting at home getting some edibles and enjoying themselves. But for me, COVID happened and I saw this guy doing kimchi. And I thought to myself, what do we not have in our community that is a vehicle that could get somebody to like what I like? And growing up, my mom would come back from the Indian store, put it in our little toaster oven, and that was our after school snack. So during COVID, there was these markets that were happening late at night, and we would just pop up our tents and just start setting up these tables. I had one little fryer, and I made like 60 to start. The first event I did, I sold out in literally 5 or 6 minutes because everybody just came right to me asking for a samosa. And that's when I knew, I was like, okay, something is happening here.
Yep.
And that was the jump off. 2020, maybe, now that I've been doing it for 6 years. I mean, COVID happened then. So I think it's been a journey of learning from COVID and licensing from the city and developing community, jumping into small farmers markets and developing the City Park Farmers Market there. And
I mean, you have a line every Sunday and Saturday for your shop, bro.
Yes,
like sometimes 8 to 10 to 20 people.
Sometimes people wait, and I feel so bad. Sometimes I don't like to wait either. Like, I'm also a customer too. Like,
but you clearly have a product that people are willing to wait for.
Yes, I'm lucky. I'm lucky that people see the idea, and really for me, it's more generational than that. I mean, you got kids now, so for me, you got a kid now, so for me, I want to see the generation above me or younger than me take this product that happens to be good for community into whatever they like it to be. And that's how I realized that I had something, it's for the kids, really. But for us, we're starting to get older. What if we liked those products too? We had Hot Pockets, we had Bagel Bites, we had Tostino's Pizza Rolls, we had all of the high stoner snacks, but really it was our childhood growing up. That's what our parents gave us when we got back home from school.
Yep.
So for me, it was also the blend of being with my friends from New Jersey, right? This goes back, it's full on like going back to my friends from my New Jersey group, coming to my friend's house and or my mom's house and being like, what is that? And I'm like, it's just a samosa. And I put my head down being worried that they won't like it. Here we are, 2026, and my friends are lining up for whatever flavor I do, whatever combination it could be, from chicken parmesan to jalapeno cheddar sausage to chopped cheese, right? To the veggie OG, which is my classic, which is what everyone still says is my everyday the best. It's the Indian one, the most flavored, garlic, ginger, curry leaf, mustard seed, all the things that people don't know about. And for me, it's cultural. People really travel for this thing, and it's so weird. It's so weird that's how it.
And you also do the drinks. What are they called?
The mango lassi and the iced chai.
Yeah.
The mango lassi and iced chai. And I think that generation, it's for generation. It's for the kids. So mango lassi to us we throw a little vodka or something in there. And
Explain to the people what mango lassi is, just for someone who may not have had
mango
that before.
lassi is it's a cooling drink that happens in India. It's yogurt, ice, some sort of sweetness, and mango. And it's just 4 ingredients. And usually some people put like rose water or something special in it, or pistachio. For me, I just do it very plain, very simple, clean, no brown sugar, no sugar added. It's just agave. And try to give something to people that they've either had before or they've never had. And like I said, generationally, it's these kids that love this mango lassi. And now all of a sudden, mom and dad, AKA our age group now, is like, okay, I guess that's what we're getting, mango lassi.
And then you do those seasonal peach ones when the peach palisades are in season. Oh,
you know about that. You know about that.
I remember that.
I don't even talk much about that, but the seasonality for me, like seasonality is so important, and the way that things change and flavors change, that has to do with the food that I create. And I think that also has to do with cannabis. And I think that's why I'm so connected to both worlds. I think just the idea of change and seasonality and growing, and then being able to flavor profiles and terpene hunting and, strain, it's so close to food that I think the match of and the mix of both is the reason why I fell in love with both, and why I'm so connected to this world of cannabis and food.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's come back to samosas in a second. You've definitely led the charge of combining culinary expertise with cannabis and doing infused dinners, and like being able to pair terpenes of strains to different flavor profiles of food and being able to give that experience to the consumer base that's out there. And, I've been to a number of different infused dinners, right? And the ones that I've seen you put out, which I haven't got a chance to try yet, but I'm looking forward to that day, the level of sophistication that you bring with your flavor profiles. And I would love to hear more about what your thought process is, and like how important that was to you to combine the two worlds that sound like they mean a lot to you, which is culinary and cannabis.
First and foremost, like, I am a cannabis user. I think that's what's lost sometimes, is as a chef, as somebody that is, marketable, as there's an idea of restaurant or food or service or hospitality, you don't know where you came from. For me, it was smoking weed. It was really like enjoying cannabis and lying to my parents that I was going to Aspen and getting in trouble from college. Like the days that I told you, I got suspended from my college because I took the hit for all my friends in school.
I don't know. Did we talk about that?
We didn't even talk about. We need to get back.
We'll
to
get
we
back
need
to
to
that.
get
We'll
to that to tell you
that.
why this is a whole huge thing about my story.
Yes.
But for food and the way that I see pairing, I'm a cannabis smoker. I'm also like somebody that uses, hash and rosin, and I think if you're not a part of that and you just see it from just an outward perspective, you're gonna just say lemon goes with limonene. You're gonna just say this is grassy. Okay, let's make something that's green.
Yeah.
And I think for me, taking the growth into learning the cultivator, like building the relationship with these people that are growing it and then making the product, and then actually understanding their process, it's the same way that I would do a dish that I'd put out, blending what they have and what I do. That's hand in hand.
Yeah.
And I take it a little bit more serious as taking the product, enjoying it, taking notes, taking the flavor Bible is what we call it. We have a flavor Bible. There's a book. It's really awesome if you guys have to look at something that you're like, hey, apples go with this. But I think what happens is, as chefs, we try to develop easy, clean bites that people can remember something that they've had in their childhood or nostalgic.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do. Or we go 2 routes. We go that route, or we go something that no one's ever had and something that's different. And I think with cannabis, it's the same thing. There's both flavor profiles and terpenes that you've never had and strains that we've never had before and things that cultivators are looking for. And then there's fruits and vegetables that you've never heard of that are pickled in a different, liquid that you're like, how did this kohlrabi turn into daikon radish? They're 2 different things, but they taste the same. And I think it takes the seriousness of that, and it takes working with people like as you do that take that to a different level of, hey, we are the best at what we do, and we try to do the best at that. We're not trying to do 7 different, 8 different things. in the beginning when I was working with cannabis industry, I was out there trying to create dishes with whatever product I got and try to put something with it. Now I think it's turned into, how do I just teach people how to do that? Like, I don't need to do that. I want to teach people how to do it for themselves, because anybody can do it. Anybody really can do it. Technique wise, sure. That's where I come in. A service, hospitality, the curation of an event, sure, that's my take. But I want everyone to do it. Ratatouille is one of those good movies that was like, everyone can cook, and like, I always say that it's like anybody could cook if they want to. It just takes a couple times and tries, not burning some garlic and onions a couple times,
I think we need to bring back that thing we did a couple years ago where we where we had you on showing people how they can use cannabis to cook dishes at their home. And I think you made, if I remember correctly, this like unbelievable watermelon salad using the rosin drops for the vinaigrette for the salad itself.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah,
that was like
man.
2 years ago?
It was with Andy Frasco,
yeah,
I think.
at his house.
At his house. At his house.
Yeah.
I think those are the things that, as we get back into, I feel like that was gone, and now people don't see it as a new take. And I used to do that with like Lightshade, and I used to do that with a lot of companies and brands to kind of push that. Not that it hasn't gone away. I think now it's more prevalent that people can do it, and people can utilize products that my mom can use. Honestly, it goes back to like my mom. My mom is a huge lover of this. So all of a sudden, guess what gummies we get when he's coming out to, Denver? Like, guess what rosin we're getting? It's one of those things. Luckily, I get to have that connection with my mom, because before that wasn't the case when it comes to cannabis.
Isn't that awesome to have now?
Now she's awesome. Now she has her friends that are asking her, hey, you're going to Dave's.
Right, you got any gummies for me?
You got any gummies? You got anything good? I'm like, okay, this is cool. And now it's taking some time for them to see. And luckily, people have created, you guys especially have created product that everyone likes. Everybody likes.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Everybody likes it. It's something that, as a chef, I always say to myself, Dave, we want to work with companies like yourself to then build what else can be next. What flavor profiles can we jump into? What things work better? What techniques of reusing, I just saw another company using real fruit now. That's taken us so long to finally get to that point of using real fruit because of cost. It goes into the business side that I love talking about sometimes, because that's how I think, where I'm like, we need to learn how to use product development, but also use the people around us on ideas that can help cost efficiency, but also cool new ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
And luckily I get to, hang out with you guys a lot. So it works out. And I think that's the next jump for me. That's always been a jump for me, is having an idea in cannabis, but also just being a lovely consumer and enjoying a product that I like.
Well, I appreciate your support of the gummies, man. Always have.
Of course.
Now, I would love to talk about that story in college, but before we get to how you got in trouble, one thing I always love to ask people when they come on is, how did cannabis come into your life? Like, what was your first time consuming cannabis like? Can you tell that story? We all have a unique story usually of like our first time getting high, our first time smoking. How was it introduced to you? The things.
I remember it very vivid.
Yeah.
So
probably
clearly.
Core memory.
Iron Line Zion, Bob Marley, sitting at Rehoboth Beach on a lifeguard stand with 6 of my friends. So 3 of us at the bottom and 3 of us on top of the lifeguard stand, trying to just roll up some weed that we had from, I don't know, we were in high school. It was our family group trip. And I remember that moment. And for me, that was how cannabis got there. I was at a beach with a bunch of my friends on a family trip.
God, I wish my first time smoking weed was on a beach. That is not the case.
That's what it was. It was Iron Line Zion with a little speaker or whatever we had at the time. Like,
it's probably a phone and
a phone, or not even a phone.
Like,
because I'm thinking we had a Razor. We had like the Motorola Razor type.
You're right.
So
It might have been like a little MP3 player or
What
something.
we had, but whatever my friend Justin had at the time. Justin, shout out to you, because I know you're gonna watch this. He's the reason why we started. How I got into cannabis. And
how old were you?
I was 13 years old.
13.
I was 13 years old. I was 14 years old when I started actually getting my parents mad at me, because I had a fire escape to the I had a fire escape to the window of my house.
To your room.
To my room.
To your room. Oh, that's dangerous.
I was that kid that would sneak out to go to Rutgers parties in freshman year of my high school, going to college parties, or
growing up fast.
I was friends with always people that were older than me because I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest in my group.
Okay.
I'm the baby of my group. I was like one of those kids that like didn't skip grade, but like moved when I moved from Jersey City to another town. I like moved in with a smaller, or like an older group. But I was the youngest kid. So I always thought my friends were older than me. So I always told my parents, I'm like, man, I'm hanging out over there. That's how it all started. Hence the college getting in trouble.
Let's hear about that now.
7 guys in a townhouse. Okay. I'm the one that comes back from Colorado. I got my weed card. Don't worry. My red card back from Aspen days. Okay. 2014. I'm 18 at the time, or something right at the time where I got to sign, right at the med age. I come back. I think I'm hot shit. I walk back with all my stuff. I got a bong. I got bags. I'm like in New York, going back to my junior year, basically my senior year of college, about to finish. Actually, it's my junior year. I'm playing basketball at the time. I'm about to be the captain of this team. Not crazy, okay? D3 basketball ain't anything crazy, but it's fun. We get to travel, Pratt Institute, all these cool places. Anyway, I play for the culinary team. Junior year comes. I'm in a townhouse with 7 friends. I'm going, and all of a sudden, I think I'm cool because I take a small bong underneath the hood, kitchen hood, and it's a great hood, brand new townhouse. So I'm smoking my bong underneath it. It's going. All of a sudden, one of my friends, one of my roommates come in, which I didn't know. It's with a TA. It's one of the RA, one of those like
the RA,
one of the RAs. And I didn't know it goes to an RA. They're just walking in, just acting like everything is fine. And they just see me. I didn't know he's an RA at the time. So I'm just like, what's up, man? They know it's me. They know I'm about to be captain of this basketball team. So they don't say anything. They don't say shit to me that day. They don't none of my friends say anything. I go to my friend's house. I'm in a place. I'm about to take mushrooms or something. All of a sudden I get a call. Dave, you need to come back right now. I'm like, what are you talking about? The RA, the security, the dean, everybody is inside of our townhouse right now and they need you. And I'm like, I'm not home. I'm not there. I'm not going back. Because I know that what I have is some weed, some bong, papers. So here's our thing with our school. If you are caught with that, it's a 15-week suspension in our school. Wow. And you get demerits in our school. This is a high-end culinary school. Like, hi. This is back in the day. Now it's a little slap on the wrist, I'm sure.
Right.
But back in the day, you were getting demerits. You were getting a 15-week suspension without getting your money back. So my parents were putting up that 15 weeks while I was at home sitting there.
Oh my gosh.
That all happened. Okay. The craziest thing is all 7 of us in our team, in our group, had a couple things inside of their room. So everybody was supposed to get suspended. The dean brings me up the next day and goes, Chef, talking to the chef. He goes, really, really disappointed. You're the basketball varsity, you're the team captain. You got 2 options here. You take it for the whole team, or all 7 of you get suspended. And I looked at him and was like, okay. My dad's pissed off at me. Why? Because I call him the next day and I'm like, Dad, I'm suspended. He's like, for what? I said, I took the hit for all 7 of the guys. They all stayed and got an extra 15 weeks to pass. I'm getting suspended. Here we are, 2026, Culinary Institute of America. You've called me now twice trying to do a talk with you, talking about cannabis and food. It's changed. And I think that is the prevalent story of how the times have changed.
That is wild.
We've all kind of moved up. My parents have obviously seen how intense cannabis was for me growing up, being in that involved. And then here we are. We're now, I think, moving forward with also cannabis being a part of my journey, but not defining who I am.
Yeah.
That doesn't define me. Jumping into the James Beard Award conversation, jumping into better shows that are happening for me on TV. I try to be someone that uses and contains with cannabis and has a part of it, but that doesn't define who I am.
Yeah, I love that. So going back to samosas and going back to, the farmers markets, you were wildly successful. You were doing these pop-ups every weekend. And then some point you had gotten an opportunity to open up Samosa Shop it was a bar downtown, correct? And that was going, I think you had been doing that for about a year or 2. Talk to me about, making that leap. What were some of the trials and tribulations to go from, pop up to brick and mortar, and what were some of the things that you loved about it? And I know that you're in the process of, we'll talk about that in a second, the next opportunity from, it's all, what would you call it? Opportunity jumps, right? Yeah. And so like, how was that owning your own, like literally restaurant inside of a business?
First thing to say, this is scary. Owning anything, being a part of something that you love, it is, the first thing is scare and fear.
Yep.
Why? Because you don't want to disappoint. You feel like there's a lot on the line. You put a lot of pressure on yourself. Fear is huge. And I think, just before I even say anything, my advice to people to do things is to just do it.
Yeah.
Try it. If it doesn't work, at least you tried.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And I think for me, doing something that I'm scared of, that I already thought I had it under control, which was the farmers markets, and killing it and doing it just weekends and doing pop-ups, to now moving forward and opening my own opportunity and having pressure on what people would think about finally having my open doors with the kitchen, with Samosa Shop being a part of it.
Yep.
Pressure. But it was awesome. It was a great experience. It's something that I can never take back. I can only say that it's just going to move me forward. The ups and downs, I've had fires, I've had floods,
Yeah.
I've had things in my bar that, when it comes to infrastructure and foundation of a building and all these things that I never, as a chef, that I care about food and how the cabbage is cooked or the way that a pickled onion is pickled.
Yeah.
Like, I'm worried about foundation of a building, or infrastructure of my systems that are working, or when I'm not there, who's taking care of the place? How many employees do I have? Those things are scary. They are scary. But what they do is they force you to kind of learn something that you never would. And that's what's given me the opportunity, I think, to develop in having that confidence for myself that I can do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I didn't know that I could. Sure, being in someone else's, bar, which was really awesome. The drinks were basically made. Most of the drinks upstairs at the tiki bar were made by me for the first, year and a half, because,
like, the concepts, or physically making them?
not physically making
but
them,
the
but the
concepts, like the
concept. So
menu.
I got to learn. Also, part of me as a chef was to always learn what it was like working in the the front of the house, in the bar,
Yeah.
in the well, because that's a whole nother journey. Having really good bartenders or people that do mixology with drinks, or whatever, process, or whatever, product that you can do, which we do mocktails that have, cannabis in there. But I think for me, learning that journey and then saying that I can do both, and being able to develop flavor profiles and drinks and cocktails that I never got to do, that was why I went to that bar.
Okay.
That's why I jumped in with them at Heller High. And they have a really good reputation for being one of the best cocktail bars, tiki bars in the country. So being with them really jumped, for me, kind of helped each other. That was what their goal was to help each other really elevate. And I think that's what it did. It helped me elevate those things, learn some systems, build a place, build some structure, some infrastructure. And then what I tell people, like, the pop-up didn't become a pop-up anymore. I was there every day for like the first year by myself, and then got hurt, had injuries, did all this stuff, went on vacation. But for the first year, I was there every day.
And you were able to develop some new menu items. Like, it went from just samosas to the lamb burgers, and you're doing different concepts behind the samosas. So, like, and I know right now you're no longer there, but let's talk about the next, if you can, the next chapter of that journey, because you've got something pretty cool happening right now.
I feel like all of the menu items that I've had in my life, or the people that you are in Denver and you've eaten from me, they are all representations of the last years of my whole career.
Yep.
And they end up becoming and develop something. So that's going to continue. As I make new menu items, it's going to be just a journey of what I've gone through. And for me, the next journey is taking Samosa Shop into a new location that's my own, number one, but also being able to develop new culinary ideas for people in the city that they're also trying to develop their own bars. So, being a part of a bar now, that's now my own ownership of a bar, is bigger than what I used to have, just having my own little pop-up inside of somebody's bar.
Of course.
Now I'm going to have my own bar with my own development of food. Maybe not Samosa Shop, because Samosa Shop deserves its own something. I think I've always said that. It deserves its own thing. But, the idea that I get to develop multiple concepts at the same time, I'm doing, I got 3 on the docket. It's kind of cool to be able to just journey into, like I said, the reason why I travel. It's to develop and learn and really dive deep into something that you never did before, and then take it to teach somebody.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm going to get to do. I'm opening a bar on 27th in Larimer in Rhino, right downtown.
Right in Rhino.
That's my home.
Love it.
Hometown for me. So that's like huge. I finally have my friends can all go there. Like all the people in the neighborhood, it's close. And it's really a representation of where I grew up, because that's how I started. 2013 was in Rhino. So
for those that are listening in Denver area, is there a timeline of like when that potentially will be
yeah,
opening?
May. Yeah,
No
we're
way.
trying to open in May. We're already at the point of, the building is already done. Licensing is there. There's a lot of process, but a lot of work that goes in, and people are like, I'm impatient. That's one of my biggest things. I'm impatient.
Might be the
right?
East Coast in you, right?
I think I'm impatient. I need it now. Like, let's do it now. I will do it now. And I think the bar is a long-term process. Obviously, for me, kitchen-wise, I want to take that seriously because this is my baby, another baby of mine. But Samosa Shop will always be a thing. I mean, I think farmers markets is still in the play for me this year. Maybe one on Sundays, so I kind of make it exclusive on Sundays that Samosa Shop will be there. But there's plans for that to develop into its own thing. And then right now, I've been really jumping into destination weddings. So I've been traveling a lot. I've been doing something that hits close to my culture. I'm from the south of India. South of India, we don't really do big, crazy weddings. North Indians, they love their crazy Indian weddings. 4-day parties, extravagant dance parties. They bring in the choreographer from New York, fly them into Mexico. Like, I'm telling you, it's a production. But I'm learning to now take what I've gotten and take that Indian American side. And then there's now couples that are like, yo, we want that at our wedding, but we want you to do the whole wedding. And now our parents need to get involved to like you. So can you cook regular Indian food? That's kind of been the development of doing these tastings, but also now doing it in Mexico, in Greece, in Italy, in trying to go international with these ideas and then travel and put on these productions.
It's unbelievable.
It's so crazy. It's one of the coolest things I've been a part to do. And now as I jump into it, now I take it more serious. I think that's going to be, I think I told you on the phone, like, that's how I want to be a provider. That's how I want to start a family. That's how I want to be able to do the things that as I get older, I couldn't be doing when I was 20 anymore. So that helps me build, that helps me, build something. And the last thing that I think, that I've really always wanted, and it's still in the works because it's real estate in Denver. Real estate is hard. Okay.
Oh yeah.
It's expensive. It's,
people
it's hard. They don't want a local guy to win sometimes. Okay. I'm not even local. I'm a Jersey guy, but they don't want a guy that's been here to see the change. I don't know why, but I think that's going to change. There is big movement in that for me, at least. I've been blessed that I finally have that movement, but I've always wanted to open a fine dining Indian concept, but not Indian only. It's that hip hop, Biggie, Tupac music that you're listening to, but you happen to have cool hip Indian food that's next to you, that's beautiful and presentable on nice plates, and make me be able to communicate that version of what Samosa Shop is to most people, and for the everyday to your date nights and your wine pairings and your cocktails that are high end. That's the next real journey for the development and evolution. It might be 5 years from now, but that journey started in 2017. And I'm not saying that it won't get there, but at least there's been little hoops and jumps to kind of get to that point, and it's getting closer than I thought.
Unbelievable, man.
So I'm lucky. I'm blessed.
Did we have a name for the bar?
I don't know if I'm supposed to say it.
Okay,
yet,
we'll hold off.
I will say this. It's Korean and Mexican food.
Whoa.
Korean
Fusion?
Mexican fusion.
Oh man.
That's what that is. So I've been doing a lot since I travel to Mexico probably every month now at this point for all these weddings, which is awesome. And different parts of Mexico. I just got stuck for that whole thing, which was crazy, by the way.
Really?
I think that's the next evolution for me, is to now take what I've learned from other countries and, being pretty good in Spanish and all that, to like work with people that are, I want to find a kid that's really developing the Korean culinary field that's out here maybe that wants to see his food shine, like just like I was. And then he's like, yo, I have like these ideas. Maybe your ideas work together. That's how you build a team. That's how I need to take away the ego of Chef Dave Hadley. Oh, it's not about me anymore. It's like, I can only help these kids. I can only help people develop their own sense because I've gotten to do that through help from you, help from, my guys from Soiku, help from the guys from all my chefs that I've had in the past,
100%.
Like it's the world of both helping each other. And I think that's what I'm able to do now, being a manager or a owner of a concept and developing these kids.
So we've got your own concept coming out in May, Samosa Shop pop-ups on Sundays or Saturdays, farmers market, and then it sounds like we've got a lot of other things coming down the pipeline for you in the next couple of years. So for everyone that's coming to Denver that wants to check you out, like where's the best place to send them so they can look up, is it Instagram? Is it a website?
Yeah.
Like
follow me on Samosa Shop Co. That will stay forever. I mean, I do pop-ups all around town. Every week right now, I'm on Tuesdays at a farmer's market indoors, which is really nice. And that will go through at least the summer through May. But
Excellent.
Then during summertime, Sundays or Saturdays are usually it. And then I do private events. I do private dinners. I'm always down. If you guys are here with your Airbnb, you're visiting, you guys are visiting in Denver and you're like, hey, I want to have an experience with me. Always reach out at my Chef Dave Hadley page or...
and could that private dinner be cannabis infused?
Yes,
I think
it can.
for a lot of people that come in
it can.
to get that experience.
That is what the cool part about it is I'll either be cannabis infused or I will pair the dinner with products that I would be able to provide for you. Any type of product from pen to a pre-rolled joint to a gummy pack, kind of developing the idea of pairing.
Yeah.
So food can just be regular food. And if your friends aren't into the cannabis thing and they don't want to partake, I could give them that option. I think that's the other thing that we don't talk about either all the time. It's like, it doesn't have to be a cannabis infused dinner all the time.
No.
It could be, you choosing what product you use to pair with that, and you determine how much you use, how little it is. Because as we know, and as I've told you before, I think my goal in Denver is to develop something like we have our hospitality licenses here. We have Tetra. Thank God for Tetra. Thank God for all of these places that allow us to go inside and consume legally. And I think for us, legally for the bar scene and food scene, we have a tip certification, right? We have we have servers that learn how to serve people or not overserve. There needs to be something for people that are serving this, chefs, for people that are part of the hospitality environment to take in certifications that teach people how to mitigate those things. Yep. Somebody needs water. There's signs. Somebody hasn't ever taken cannabis before. There's small amounts, 2.5 milligrams, 1.5, whatever it may be. There's got to be something that if we are going to get really technical and really down and dirty and deep into what we are doing with the MED and all that, we should have something. And I think luckily I'm a part of that, which the city has offered multiple times, to really develop something that helps the hospitality environment in Denver grow. And that's just taking things seriously when tourism comes in. It's not your everyday friends that know how to smoke. It's your random ass person that comes in and doesn't know how to consume.
100%.
And that's kind of where I want to go in the next route when it comes to the hospitality scene in Denver.
It looks like we've got some samosas right here. I would love to have one if we could.
I couldn't show up and bring the team. I go, look, man, I couldn't bring the team. I couldn't bring you. I couldn't not show up without something.
I miss these things. We don't have samosas in Cincinnati,
and I think
Ohio.
that's the most important thing. It's a vehicle for anything. We have a jalapeno cheddar sausage inside. And then this is our Samosa sauce. So this is our fresh dill secret sauce that we do for our burger. I'm not going to tell you what's in it, but basically fresh dill is in there.
Yep.
It's something that for me, I get to share it with my friends, and it's so easy, but it just thinks about the times that, like I said, it makes me think about my younger days. And man,
hand me that
let's
plate.
Go.
Let me see
get
that
in.
thing.
Get in, dip a little bit.
Yep.
Get in there. Team, you guys need to get some too. All of you. You hear the crunch? I just want you to hear the crunch. Okay, so think Hot Pocket. Hot Pocket mixed with empanada, mixed with goodness. Most samosas, when you go get it somewhere else,
I'm eating
they
this
are
whole
going to
thing.
concentrate on a dough that's doughy and crunchy, and the filling sucks. Me, I do opposite. I think about what's inside. I think about like that pocket, and then I think about how many people can eat. Most samosas are like little tiny squares. Like
Is this
big.
potato on the inside?
Potato is the base. So every samosa, there's potato the base. Now I do a s'more samosa. That's not potato.
It is not.
That is not potato. But there's certain things that create a base to hold all of this stuff together. And then, I'll be honest with you. I don't fold all these 3,000 every single week, 2,000 every week. Everyone tells me like, Dave, you do 2,000 every week. I'm like, my good days, we used to do like 5,000. But at this point, I can't fold them all. I have a team that does that. Okay. There's a team of
You gotta delegate the folding.
There's a beautiful team of ladies that do it, that are Burmese ladies that take care of me, that are part of my squad, that fold these for me. The wrapper is special because I'm not going to tell you what it is because we make it ourselves. Very specific to the cultures, right? Burmese, India, African, South Africa. Every country has its own fried product. And we just do it like this. I think the Indians do it a little different, but now you got to mix with me.
That's unbelievable.
It's good, right? You guys got to
tri-
get in. I'm
I
not
double,
eating.
triple
I
dip.
eat so many samosas. That's why you got this gut, and I'm about to go to. You can't do that. Can't do that.
I like double, triple, quadruple dipped
You
on
can eat.
that. That
There's
was
so many.
unbelievable.
There's so many. I'm glad you like.
The sauce was very complimentary to that sausage and that jalapeno that was inside. So one thing that we like to ask our guests, that I'm really curious your answer on, being a
That's
chef.
crazy.
If you could create any flavor for a dialed in gummy, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. I will say something because we just talked about this. That mango lassi.
Yeah, I knew
the
you were
mango,
going there.
Either
I
the
knew
mango lassi with the tahine,
Oh, your little tahine,
little tahine thing on top for
Yeah.
its spice. I don't know. I know that the gummy is so good that you can't do like the topper because that's what makes it so special is that texture. But I will say mango lassi, or there's this fruit in Mexico. It's the cactus plant. They call it atun, not tuna, atun.
Okay.
Or tune. And it's basically a pink cactus fruit that when you juice it, it tastes so beautifully like tart. So I'd mix that with pineapple juice together.
Ooh.
And that would be my flavor.
Okay.
For dialed in.
Very tropical.
Very tropical. But also that's where, as I say, I think it's cool that people are trying that stuff and really using real fruit and using real flavoring that's not just commercialized. It's just something that's different that I think takes that next step.
My man. My man. We'll have to work on developing something like that
Mango
one
lassi.
day. Mango lassi gummies.
Or the attuned pineapple.
Well, it sounds like you've got a lot coming up in the next couple of years. And again, Samosa Shop Co. is where you can find Dave on Instagram. Reach out to him if you're ever in town. He's one of the friendliest, nicest guys that I know and happens to also cook amazing food. Dave, thank you so much for coming on today.
Dude, so
telling us
excited.
about everything about Chef Dave Hadley and all the things that are coming. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys.